It takes less than a second to change your life. The signal lasted zero point 0.2 seconds. You stared at it for 6 minutes before calling anyone. Not because you doubted the machine, because you understood what it meant. You didn't build the universe. You just noticed it move. And noticing is a burden. You were never interested in rockets, not really. While others watched launches, you watched oscilloscopes. While they imagined astronauts, you calculated noise. Your father repaired radios at a wooden desk near the window, circuits spread out like city maps. He taught you one habit early: if something sounds wrong, listen longer. You carried that habit into physics. Graduate school was not cinematic. It was fluorescent lighting and stale coffee, long nights filtering interference out of meaningless data. You learned patience before recognition. Most signals are garbage. Thermal fluctuations, seismic tremors, distant trucks, wind pressing against structures, random quantum jitter in electronics. Noise dominates everything. You joined a collaboration that had been waiting decades for a whisper. LIGO. 2 facilities, one in Hanford, Washington, one in Livingston, Louisiana, 4 kilometers of vacuum tunnel in each direction, laser beams bouncing between mirrors so precisely aligned that a proton's width matters. Your job was not glamorous. You analyzed noise floors. You studied background disturbances. You removed false positives before they embarrassed the collaboration. You were good at it. Years pass in calibration cycles. The detectors shut down for upgrades, new mirror coatings, improved seismic isolation, laser power adjustments. Each upgrade reduces uncertainty by fractions of a percent. You specialize in transient signal filtering. Short bursts, millisecond spikes, the kind that most algorithms discard automatically. You rewrite part of the pipeline to preserve ambiguous spikes for secondary review. Your reasoning is simple. Better to overcollect than overlook. Your code reduces false dismissal rates by 3.7%. It does not sound dramatic. Inside precision science, it is substantial. By 2015, the upgraded detectors enter observation mode. Sensitivity improved by nearly a factor of 10 compared to initial runs. Theoretically, if binary black holes merge within 1.3 billion light years, you should see it. Theoretically, the universe is not obligated to perform on schedule. September 14th, 2015, 9 hours, 50 minutes, and 45 seconds UTC, the Livingston detector registers a transient spike, amplitude rises, frequency increases rapidly, then vanishes. 0.2 seconds. The automated system flags it. Your pipeline does not discard it. 7 milliseconds later, Hanford registers a similar spike, time delay consistent with light speed propagation across continental distance. You look at the waveform. A chirp, frequency sweeping upward, exactly as predicted by general relativity, for 2 massive bodies spiraling inward. You check the environmental monitors. No seismic disturbance, no maintenance activity. You check cosmic ray logs. Clean. You rerun the matched filter analysis against simulated black hole mergers. Signal-to-noise ratio exceeds 20. Statistical significance climbs. You do not celebrate raw data and rerun independently. Same waveform, same chirp, mass estimates form on your screen. Approximately 36 solar masses merging with 29 solar masses. Final black hole around 62 solar masses. 3 solar masses converted directly into gravitational radiation. Energy output, briefly, exceeds the luminosity of all stars in the observable universe combined, but not in light. In space-time distortion, you lean back slightly, not dramatically, just enough to create distance from the monitor. If this is real, it confirms a prediction made in 1916 by Albert Einstein. If this is real, you are looking at the first direct detection of gravitational waves. If this is real, history will record the collaboration, not the moment you noticed. You call your colleague. Your voice remains steady. I need you to look at something. The collaboration initiates blind injection protocols. You must assume it is a test. In previous runs, senior members occasionally inserted artificial signals to test readiness. You request confirmation from the small group authorized to perform injections. Response: no injection scheduled. Data access tightens immediately. Internal communication channels become restricted. A secure teleconference is scheduled within hours. You present the waveform calmly. You show matched filter overlays. You show residual noise subtraction. You outline the false alarm probability. Less than one event in 200,000 years of data, silence, follows. Then procedural steps begin. Independent teams replicate analysis. Calibration experts review mirror alignment logs. Statisticians stress test assumptions. The signal persists through scrutiny. You sign non-disclosure agreements. Publication timeline shifts from hypothetical to imminent. Media teams are informed quietly. Security protocols increase around data servers. You begin to understand something uncomfortable. The moment the signal became real, control left individual hands. Discovery becomes institutional. For months, you speak about nothing outside approved channels. Family asks about work. You say it is progressing. You stop posting online. You avoid conferences not related to the collaboration. Drafts circulate internally. Every sentence examined. Every claim constrained by statistical language. 5 sigma significance required. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. You reanalyze the data at night alone in your office, not because others doubt it, because you need to confirm it for yourself. The waveform still rises and falls in that same elegant curve, 2 black holes spiraling inward, orbit shrinking, frequency climbing, space-time trembling, then silence. You think about the distance, 1.3 billion years. The merger occurred before multicellular life dominated Earth. The ripple traveled across expanding space through galaxies forming and dying, through interstellar dust and cosmic radiation. It reached Earth. It moved your mirrors by less than 1,000th the diameter of a proton. And you noticed the scale is difficult to hold in your mind. You return to smaller things, data files, error bars, confidence intervals. Isolation grows quietly, not imposed, inherent. Few people understand what the waveform represents. Fewer still feel its weight. You used to think discovery would feel explosive. Instead, it feels precise, measured, contained. When the public announcement is finally made in February 2016, cameras flash, LIGO stands before the world. Headlines use words like breakthrough and revolution. You stand slightly behind the podium line. The equations remain unchanged. Space-time curvature described by Einstein a century ago. You did not create the waves. You confirm them. Knowledge expands human reach, but it also compresses perspective. You now understand that the universe is not silent. It vibrates constantly. Collisions, mergers, catastrophic alignments unfolding beyond sight. And most of them pass unnoticed. You think about control. You cannot influence black holes. You cannot alter gravity's equations. You can only refine instruments, reduce noise, listen better. Power in science is not domination. It is detection. The burden is not fear. It is awareness. You will spend the rest of your career listening to space-time tremble. Late one evening, long after the announcement, you sit in the control room again. Monitors glow softly. Vacuum systems hum. Laser power stabilizes within acceptable range. A junior researcher reviews a flagged transient spike from earlier that day. It is likely noise, probably seismic, maybe instrumentation. He hesitates before dismissing it. He reruns the filter. The waveform sharpens slightly, not identical to the first detection, different mass range, different frequency profile, but unusual. He leans closer to the screen. You watch without speaking. It starts small. It always does. A fluctuation, a deviation, a signal buried in noise. You didn't move the universe. You just listened long enough to hear it. And somewhere, billions of light years away, space-time bends again. This time, someone else is watching.